Okay everybody, first video in a long time. There's been a number of reasons for that, and I'll cover them off as I ride my bike. I think I'm going to go along the south coast today, up towards Worthing by the seaside, so I get to see the sea. I may have mentioned before that I tend to ride my bikes all year round, so I don't wait just for spring or summer. I tend to get out all the time, but I haven't this time, and there's been a couple of reasons for it, main reasons for it. Interesting enough, when people say, well, you know, what about the bike, etc, etc. Well, I do put a light covering of ACF 50 on it. That does seem to make a difference, and the truth is I don't really worry about it. I think bikes have been made to ride since they started, so I don't worry about putting it away without washing it and stuff like that. If you've travelled all over the world, you'll see millions and millions of bikes right across the world just sitting outside, and nobody ever worries about it, so I don't worry about it. For sure, if they've just salted the roads and I've been for a ride, I'd probably give it a hose off later, but most of the time I just ride the bike and enjoy myself. And we all know that riding the bike seems to help with mental awareness, makes you feel better. Doesn't matter what kind of a day you've had or week you've had, somehow getting on a bike makes you feel better. We all know that. And there's an old joke: you never see a motorcycle parked outside a psychiatrist's office. I'm not entirely sure it's true, but I kind of like that, because for some reason, and bikers know this, you feel better when you ride your motorcycle. And looking back now to those awful times of lockdown, when, you know, you just felt guilty if you got out on your bike because people were going to look at you and think, what's he doing that outside? But the reality is, getting out is important. It's so important for people to get out and ride, and I'm not someone who likes to ride fast. I don't mind very long journeys. I've literally, you know, ridden 10-hour trips on a regular basis across Mexico and the States, places like that, but not fast. I'm not into fast riding. Sea's looking flat today. I'm actually really pleased. It looks nice. I thought it was going to be, for some reason I thought the waves were going to be hitting the shore today, but no, they look great. So hopefully you can see that on the video. I'm trying out a new camera technique today, so let's see how we get on. I'm not sure it's going to be high enough, but we'll try it. So what's been happening in my world? Well, two things really. So I'm struggling with my clutch hand. It's called Dupuytren's disease, or Dupuytren's contracture, and what it basically means is your little finger and the ring finger, or the finger next to it rather than left hand side, they start to close up a bit, and apparently it's quite common. 60% of adults over the age of 50 can start to develop it. My brother had it, and his was really bad. Mine's not terrible, but I do notice that after a short while of riding the bike, my hand aches, and it's pulling in the clutch when you've got Dupuytren's contracture. It took me a while to learn how to say that, and of course to learn more about it. I went to see a private specialist because the doctor would just refer you, and knowing my brother, how it happened for my brother, when he eventually got to see someone, they said, yes sir, you know, come back when your hand's virtually closed. So I went to see a private specialist down in Worthing, and he said, yep, self-diagnosed it correctly. It's Dupuytren's contracture, of which there's no cure. What it means is your fingers of your hand will close up, and come and see me when it does, and I'll perform an operation. I looked at the operation on YouTube. It's horrible. They literally peel back your skin, cut the cords, these thick cords which develop, sew you all back together, and 4 or 5 months of work with a physio specialist, you should be okay again. But it grows back. So I actually know someone whose dad had it twice, 2 operations over his lifetime, just kept growing back. So there's no cure. But what that does mean, and I've got to get my head around this, that what it does mean is that I just need to think about the bike I ride, because I can't pull in a heavy clutch anymore. And I don't think the Royal Enfield, this little 350, is a particularly heavy clutch. I've been on far worse back in the day. But even this is causing me a problem after about an hour. So I've been trying to think what to do, and I've tried all sorts of different things. I've been on the internet, I've ordered a special clutch mechanism from the States. I've tried the usual stuff. Honestly, I've spent months looking into this, and the reality is there's nothing which is going to work for me, and the level of pain it's bringing me after about an hour. So I'm just going to have to change my bike. Now that then started a whole new process. As anyone who knows, when you buy a new bike, you have to do so much research and so much looking. I looked at everybody's websites, Honda, Triumph, quick look at Harley Davidson. I looked at other bikes in the Royal Enfield range, because I'm a real fan of Royal Enfield. And I started to drift towards the DCT models of Honda, because of course, it's semi-automatic, so twist and go, almost like a scooter in a way. And they do the Africa Twin DCT, but my massive adventure bike days are gone. I had a BMW GS 1200, which I thought was fantastic. I just don't want another massive bike. It's too big for me, and I'm not going to do any big serious adventures anymore. Well, I say that, I am, but not like that. I don't need that bike for it. So it's busy along the seafront, of course. So then I looked at something like the NC 750, and I was very tempted, because of course it's DCT model. It's got a sort of an adventure bike style, and I quite like it, and I'm not totally against it. It's just that I don't really want to go automatic yet. I think my hand's still got a bit of time before it closes up, and I'm in real problems with it. Although saying that, it's hurting a bit now. So I started looking at the Honda 500, because my son's got the CB 500F, and that's got a super light clutch, feather light clutch, and I thought, what about that? And then and I was very tempted, but I rang the dealers and I couldn't get hold of one for love or money. And then everyone said, well, why don't you get the 750? So I thought about the 750, and there are a couple of things that put me off. Well, the main one was the fact that the tyres have tubes in them, and yes, this Royal Enfield has tubes in them, and it's just a constant nagging at the back of your mind to say, can I really be bothered to carry all the tools to get the tyres off? I've done it I've carried all the tools in the past, and sometimes you need bits and pieces, and sometimes but I just don't want to do that anymore. So I thought to myself, the next bike must have tubeless tyres. I just want to plug it and ride on. I cannot be bothered to take the wheel off, and just pull the tyre out, put a new one in, or patch it. I just don't want to do that anymore. So I thought, right, it's got to have tube tyres. Anyway, if anybody who watches my channel will know that I happened to call into the Triumph dealership just for a look round recently. I think it was literally a few days after January. It started in this 2023 this is, and I sat on a few bikes there, and the one that really pulled at my heartstrings was, I don't know if I should mention it actually, maybe I should just put it into a teaser video of saying new bike arrival. Yeah, I'll leave it as that. So anyway, you got a clue, it's a Triumph, but I'm not going to tell you which one. All I know is, it's like all these things, when you buy a bike, I tend to buy them with my heart, and if something just works for me, and I look at it, I thought, that's the bike I can see me on right now, where I am in my life, then that's what I'm going to go for. And that's how it works. I don't worry about the rest of it. And I've had so many different bikes, and some of them have really pulled at my heartstrings. Old Motor Guzzies, certainly old Triumph Bonnevilles back in the day, and others have been, I guess, less so, but still enjoyable. So I went with my heart this time and put a deposit down, and that bike is coming, I think in May. I think they said May. So when we get there, I'll do a bike reveal just for the fun of it, like all these big YouTubers do. And I'll tell you about what I've got planned to do with that bike. Wow, it's a nice day, isn't it? I feel a bit overdressed. I've got really thick gloves on, heated gloves on. I haven't got them on, but I'm wearing them. And it's much far nicer than I thought it was. A bit of a cold wind, but it's alright. I'll just ride along the front for a while, and I'll cut inland and over the hills. Just nice to see all the people out enjoying the sunshine. And as I say, we all need this for our mental health. So that's one of the big reasons up until about 3 weeks ago why I haven't been riding. I've just trying to work out what I'm going to do. I'm not going to quit riding, that's for sure. I'm too young to be quit riding. I've been riding since I was 14, so that's a long time, and I'm not about to stop. So I've got to keep going for as long as I can. And the other reason, which is extremely sad, and I don't want to talk too much about it, except to say that, because it's just too upsetting. My brother died just a few weeks ago, and it's absolutely been heartbreaking. I can't tell you. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it, but we were very close. We always have been. And funeral's in the week after next, and that will be tough to get to, but I'm going to do it and read the eulogy for my brother. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it. So it's been an exceptionally tough time, and I just needed to get out today and talk about other things. So let me focus on other things. Oh man, here we go. Get my head together for a minute. So yeah, all is good. I'm okay. So I'm going to ride today along the coast, as I say, show you a bit of Worthing. My dad used to live, my brother used to live down this way years and years ago. It's funny coming back, it really is. I mean, I don't live far from it, as you can see as you watch the video, but we used to walk around these parks and places like that. Not far from the hospital. That's where the ambulance, I assume, is on his way to, cutting through to the hospital down there. Yeah, so what have we got planned this year? Well, new bike, that's going to be very exciting. And I'm going to be looking at doing a bit of a long journey. Again, I won't tell you where just yet, because I'm trying to work out the logistics, and it's quite an exciting one place I've never been to, and I've got to squeeze it in around a few bits of work I'm doing, plus holidays with the family, obviously. So I'll let you know about that, and if you want to follow, you can. Other than that, it's all good. Bike's running nicely. As I say, I'm running it for a while. It's running really nicely. I will miss this bike, there's no question about it. My wife very kindly said, why don't you just keep it, and your son can ride it. Your older son, he hasn't got a bike at the moment, said he could ride it, or maybe you could ride it again in the future. I said I'm in two minds. I absolutely love this bike. I love the style. I love everything about it. It's, it just does everything I need it to do, except allow me to change gear comfortably anymore. And that's not the bike's fault, it's my problem with my hand. So I will miss it, and I don't know, will I keep it? I don't know. I suppose, like all these things, when it comes to deposit time for the new bike, I've just put a small deposit down, but when it comes to buying it, this bike could be worth a few £1,000, so maybe I'll just part exchange it, maybe I won't. Wow, beautiful day. So then there's the big journey I'm planning, and I'm going to do it in my classic sort of way. I'm going to do it old school style, so I'm going to do it with a tent, and try and do it that way, cooking stuff, etc. It's interesting when I watch a lot of these different YouTubers that they definitely ride in some tough areas, but they all end up in a really nice hotel in the evenings, and I think, well, okay, that's great, and I'm not knocking it because they're doing it, but you need money, and it's not really a true old school motorcycle adventure, because if you can just go on, I've done it myself. I'm not knocking it. I've done it myself. I went to Mexico, hired a bike in the city of Mexico, rode out to Guadalajara, and all the way across to Puerto Vallarta, down the coast towards Acapulco, back in, and all I did, like everyone else, I just got on my phone, looked at booking.com, found a place for $30, $40, $50, and booked in for the night, and it was fine, no problems at all. So as I say, I understand why people do that, and of course you don't need to carry as much gear, but I want to do it like I was 17 or 18 again. I want to do it like I used to do it, literally taking my tent and a sleeping bag and a few bits and pieces, and just ride, stop, camp, make some tea or coffee, have some dinner, pack up and ride the next day. I just want to do it in my own time, in my own way, and that's who I am. I don't really want to just keep staying at, I don't know, the Hilton Hotel or the Hyatts or any of these top end places. It's not for me. I'm going to do it old school style and on a budget, and have some fun just riding the back roads to where I want to go. The destination I want to go is actually quite a long way, to be honest with you, and I'm sure it'll all be fine. It'll just take me a while to get there, and I'll just camp along the way. I'll probably have to book the odd hotel, just because you've got to charge all this gear for your to video your journeys, but and upload stuff, of course. But if I can do, I don't know, 2 days camping, then 1 day in a hotel, 2 days camping, and just to do something like that, it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I've been rambling on long enough. I've told you a little bit about my life, situation with me and my bike, my poor brother, of course. So I'm gonna end this now, let the camera run for a minute, and just say thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It's like all these things, I don't have millions of followers, but I do appreciate just the people I have saying nice things and asking me questions, and if I can answer them, of course I will, and just commenting. So I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching, and take care.